Nice. Today we talk about something very serious. Okay, because we all know that the trade war actually escalated into like finance, military, like a full-scale Cold War between U.S. and China now after so many days now. As I am very ignorant about politics and diplomacy. Yeah, all those fields. I really would like to participate and would like to see what's happening, but I dare not to say anything. But yesterday I watched a video and I got some data. I think this can be a very interesting topic to talk about. I just bring the topic out. Just hope that the experts, who those ones that know more, would give us more ideas. Yeah. So the topic is whether there will be a war between US or China. What do you think?
Between US and China?
A war. A real war.
A real war? No. No, I don't think there will be.
Why?
Because it's kind of like they've done in the past with what MAD, mutually assured destruction. They're just both too big. They're both too big. If you want to make it an actual war of military, well, people will argue, but the U.S. military is stronger, even though China has more people, more soldiers. I think that it would end pretty quickly, and if it came to a certain point, and they did do it, I think it would be a mutually assured destruction.
Yeah. Okay, this is a very logic answer, but I have another answer. The conclusion is the same. I agree that there will be no war, the real war between US and China. Maybe a very small scale somewhere in the, South China Sea, US Japan, a couple of,
I don't
maybe,
think so.
yeah, maybe even not
I
that.
think if it does go even that far, then politicians will feel obligated to take it all the way, especially on the Chinese side. I'm sorry, but I feel they'll be obligated to stick with their decision and not change it and just keep going.
Yeah, but yesterday I watched this video. They have another theory. I really feel that I want to share with everyone here that why China and the US is not going to have a war, and for this trade war, this Cold War, and the US going to win for sure. These people said this. Okay, now I want to bring the story back to many years ago. I think it was in 2002 to 2003. I was at Los Angeles USC, University of Southern California. I was studying film writing at a film school, doing the film script writing course, and I got to know some very influential, important Chinese people. I don't want to mention names. They are at very high level when they were in China. Okay, when they were working in the central government, they were at very high level.
During Mao's time.
During Mao's time, yes. At Mao's time, yes. And these two old gentlemen, old revolutionaries.
Did you say gentlemen?
yeah, revolutionaries.
Were they twirling their handlebar mustaches?
No. They are really communist party member and the leaders. Okay, the highest leaders during in the Mao's.
And they were living in the U.S.
Yes, they both living in Los Angeles. Okay, I was lucky to get to know them, and I asked the same question. I said, "Will be a war?" They both laughed at me and says, "No, it's not possible." I said, "Why?"
What year again?
2002 and 2003.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Yes. Then they laughed and they said, "No, it's not possible." I said, "Why?" Then they said, "It's because China, regardless, communist or anti-communist, okay,
Yeah.
the enemy or the regime, they just have too much interest in this country. Okay, like these two leaders, they are last highest level leaders at Mao's time. They both here live in the States. They just are too much involved, and it's not possible for China to attack the U.S. It means to attack themselves. They have just too much things involved here.
Okay.
Now, I did not get it. I said, what is it? How is it exactly? They just laugh. You find out. You know, we have so many people, high-level officials, their families here, and so much money here in these states. But I had no idea. It's $1 million, $2 million, $10 million. I had no clue. And I know that in a certain area in Los Angeles, like California, I mean, Monterey Park or Roland High, they have all these Chinese family members of the higher level people live there. And the people go there and buy houses like that, you know, with cash. I mean, not cash in the bank, but actually physical cash.
Wow. Yeah.
With truck.
Untraceable.
With trucks, drive to cash to the bank and buy
Yeah.
houses, things like this, you know. And
What are they, all $1 bills or something? They needed truckloads.
Okay. Anyway.
What is $1 or coins?
Anyway, and we had no idea how much until 2010. I think it's 2000. Let me check it. 2010. I think it's Obama.
That's all in Chinese. How
Yes,
can you
yes,
read it?
yes. And 2010, the Obama administration, Obama said something. It says, if the time comes, if necessary, we will release,
Release, yes.
we will release the list of all the high official family members, their account here in the States.
Okay. And okay, just for people's information, because I do like when people do their own research. So just so they can check this out themselves, we'll put it in the description, the name of the act, and they can look it up. Okay?
Yes.
It's Magnitsky Act, and it was regarding the Russian government, actually. But then it was made an international to apply globally in 2016.
Yeah.
So that's why the threat came on to China.
Yes. So still, I had no idea how much is that scale be involved until 2013. There is a American guy. His name is. He gave a lot of information.
Snowden.
Snowden.
Snowden. Yeah.
Yes. Snowden.
Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
Edward Snowden.
Edward Snowden.
Sure, everybody's heard about it.
Mr. Edward Snowden was in Russia, and China was very excited. Oh, this anti-US hero.
Actually, he was seen by a lot of people as pro-US, extreme
Yes,
pro-US.
yes, yes.
I agree that he was doing the citizens a benefit.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, he was supposed to be a hero, and the Chinese media really, praised him.
Because they thought he was bringing the US down.
Yes.
But he was helping the US citizens keep the government accountable to us, which is what they have to do. Or theoretically, they're supposed to be accountable to us. They're servants of the people. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, and this guy, China loved him. Then this guy was in Russia, and released a fact that, how much money the Chinese high officials, their families, have in the US. 2013, he said it's a $4.8 trillion.
Officials?
It's only for the accounts of these high official, their family members.
They have their money, that much money.
Yes.
Where did they get the money? How what? So, okay, give me a perspective. How much money is this? I mean, because to me, these numbers, once you get above a certain amount to the average person, it just becomes like blah. Okay, you have to give me an example. What could this pay for?
I give you example. That amount of money can give the whole Chinese people, like we have 14 billion people in China.
I don't know. It keeps changing and growing.
13 billion, 14 billion.
Is it already?
Yeah. Okay, people for the free Medicare for 600 years. For the whole nation. This amount of money we can use for our whole country. Every single Chinese in this country benefit for free medication 600 years. That's the amount of money we have for these officials.
The officials have in U.S. banks.
And how many of them? There's said 1.8 million people. Accounts. Okay.
1.8 million officials and their families.
The family members, their sons and daughters and the wives and the mistresses.
How many officials are there in China?
Many.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and 1.8 million. Okay, look, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I say it again, I'm not expert. The information I got from might not be accurate. Okay, you have the right to correct us, and you should correct me if I'm wrong. And you have the responsibility, obligation to do that. Okay, if you love your people. All right. Then the thing is that we all know that there's a modern words for washing money. So how we call this?
Money laundering.
Yeah, money laundering. It means
laundering.
Laundering.
Yes.
It means you pour the money and in the laundry and wash it and make it clean. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that needs a big machine to wash that much money. You know.
Yeah.
Is it dirty money?
Dirty money. I think it
with shit, with smell bad, or
no, it's dirty because it was gained through illegal means.
Not physically.
No, illegal means. Actually, I don't know for sure, but I believe that originally it came from the mafia doing it, because the mafia, during Prohibition, there was a time in American history when alcohol was illegal, and it was called Prohibition. And the mobsters loved it because they could run the alcohol down through the United States and sell it illegally, and then they had money, but they couldn't account for where did that money come from to the U.S. government.
Yes. And after that, the Chinese government hate Snowden. And this guy has never showed...
So our friend, and now we hate him. Ah!
Yeah, and this guy's face never showed again in the Chinese media. Disappear. Okay, bad guy. Okay. Anyway, so the question is, why the Chinese people all send money here to the States, not to Sweden? Oh, sorry, Switzerland. Okay, I tell you, just to give you one story before we go. That is that U.S. seems to be a escaping place for anyone who is in danger, both on the communist Chinese side or the anti-communist side.
Yeah, asylum. From political persecution.
Yeah, they all feel this is a safe place. They hate. They say, "Oh, U.S. imperialism, you're bad guys," but they send their kids here.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And for example, in 1989, Tiananmen Square, what do you call it? Conflict or whatever.
Tiananmen Square.
Chaos.
Tragedy.
Yeah, okay.
Tragedy.
Chaos. Something happened there,
yeah.
And the one Chen Yun is the one who actually launched the action. And the first thing he did before he put action, he sent his own grandson to U.S. He sent the only grandson to U.S. first, because if he launched that thing, you never know what is going to happen, If a revolution happens, then he could go in trouble. So first he got his grandson to U.S. Then he started to do the killing at Tiananmen Square. Okay, so this is example. All the anti-revolutionary people, also all kinds of people, they're all here in the United States. The reason is that they don't put money in Switzerland because Switzerland was loaned to protect private money, to keep a secret.
Yeah.
But not until, I think, 1998. I might be wrong. I say it again. I might be wrong. So they have launched a anti-money laundering act.
Actually, 1977 is when they first introduced the anti-money laundering. So it's a long time ago. They knew that this was going on, but then they started holding them accountable. Like 2012 is when it says they revisited. I suppose the legislation.
Yeah. Anyway, Switzerland have changed their policy. The rule, the law says that the bank cannot keep a secret from the government. If the government requires, they have to tell the government. And also the government, if it's necessary, they will tell other countries' government. So it means that Switzerland is not a safe place to hide your money anymore if you are a criminal, I mean. Yes. Not for ordinary people, okay? Not for people like us. We don't have money.
Actually, that was the Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters. And that one is international, where they work together to make sure.
That's the second thing.
No, that's part of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then say it again. What's the name of the whole thing?
Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters.
Yes. So it means that there are, I heard that it's like over 100 countries joined in, take part into this organization.
Yeah, organization. It's, I guess you could call it that.
Yeah. So they share information. Okay, you pay tax income from. You cannot say, oh, I pay tax in that country, and the other country don't know. Now we know you have to pay tax in certain country, and we share the information, everything. You say, oh, I made so much money from that country. Okay, show me. So that also stop this money laundering. Okay. And the third thing is this
Magnitsky
Human Rights Watch. That is something that yes. Okay. So what exactly they did? What exactly they did to use this act? Actually, in USA, in May this year, they did to Russia. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they did to Russia. So if you're interested, you check what Trump did to Russians in May, and also they did to Chinese people in June.
Actually, I would suggest. I had found a YouTube video that I look through several different types of sources, but of course I wanted it plain and simple when I first started out. So I just looked on YouTube, and there was a quick slide presentation type thing with music going in the background that just explained it.
And also in July, Trump did a big action to Iran. They threw 5,000 Iranians out, and they froze their money. And
but I don't think you explained why the Magnitsky Act, what it is, what basis are they using to do these things? Well, no, I just want people to know that it's not something that they just arbitrarily made up. It was for a particular instance. There was
for people violate the human rights.
It was actually a Russian. Was he? He was a Russian accountant or tax attorney. Tax attorney.
That's a huge thing.
Okay, and he was being held because he did investigations into corruption in the government officials in Russia.
Yes.
And then he was jailed, but in 2009 he mysteriously died.
Just before he got out.
Just before he got out. So actually the U.S. Proposed and then passed this. The Senate actually passed this, and it was against Russia. And it was based solely on countries. Well, it was only Russia at the time, but human rights violators. Specifically, okay, I'll read from it. Okay, now it's become global. So it authorizes the government, the U.S. government, to sanction human rights offenders, freeze their assets, and ban them from entering the U.S. Freezing their assets means their money, their bank accounts, property, anything that they have here in the U.S. So it only gives them control of what's of the U.S. But so many Chinese officials have
exactly.
so much here.
before we're talking about this texting, the convention what's the name?
It is called Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters.
Yes, it's over 100 countries, the members, exclude China. China is not a member, I think.
Actually,
yes. Said yes. Yeah, according to the other video, the other person said I might be wrong. That person also could be wrong. That China is not a member. They don't want to get into that, because so also in July, U.S. used the same act against Venezuela. Venezuela.
Yeah.
And they got the wife of the president, and took so much money. So it's incredibly large amount.
It's not like they went into Venezuela and took money. It was money that they put here in U.S. banks.
Yes, exactly.
So don't think that it's not like the U.S. government went to Venezuela and took their money. Venezuela has been stashing money in U.S. banks, hiding their money here.
Yes.
So that's the same thing. You have to understand, if you're going on somebody else's territory, you're taking a risk.
Yeah. So recently there is a Chinese, smart Chinese guy. I think he's a scholar or what kind of has a Chinese man with a big wisdom. He said, "Trump, look at us. Don't think you play the trade game and you're going to win, because we have many dirty tricks we can play. We can bring U.S. down."
This is a Chinese official.
No, it's not official. It's a Chinese scholar.
Chinese scholar, okay.
A Chinese smart guy, a smart person.
Okay.
Trump think that, wow, dirty tricks. That's a good idea, maybe. I don't know how Trump think that. What Trump did was that he frozen the Chinese military money here.
China has military money here?
Yes. I don't know exactly.
Why doesn't China keep their money in China?
I don't know if the pronunciation is the translation is correct. It's called the equipment department. Means that the China put money here in U.S. buying U.S. equipments, buying U.S. Army.
So,
but instead of buying U.S. Army, they bought something from Russia. Okay. So that is I think it's against the agreement or something. Anything anyway. But Chinese Army Equipment Department, my translation might be wrong, give me correct translation, and have money here, and now it is frozen by President, your uncle, Trump. Okay.
Not my uncle.
And your uncle did another thing, is that the leader of the army, a specific leader of the department, equipment department, this leader, he is not giving any visa come to US, and his money also frozen. Okay. So Trump says, okay, you better do it. This is not dirty trick. I use Human Rights Watch Act.
And hold on, it's not like they didn't know this existed. But you know what? From the videos that I was watching, a lot of news videos, they were asking like senators and congressmen and stuff about this Magnitsky Act, and they didn't even know about it until he did this, until Trump did it. They had it was just kind of snuck in on the side back in 2012, and they didn't even realize that it was there. And then when he called on it to use it, they all went, "What?" And then, oh, this is law. He can do this.
Yeah, and therefore I come up with a conclusion that President Trump does not really want to bring the Chinese government down. I don't think he really wants the Chinese whole government collapse. I don't think so. Otherwise, it's so easy. Why trade war? Why don't bother? Just release 1.8 million accounts to the Chinese people. To tell the whole Chinese people, look, your leaders, their wives, their kids, their daughters, their mistresses have $4.8 trillion here in the United States.
And Wait, so what you're telling me is that the Chinese people don't know this?
No. We know they have money here, but we don't know the amount.
How can they not know the amount? Now it's public, you know it.
But this is censored. China cannot see this.
Oh my God.
Okay, this is YouTube. YouTube cannot be watched in China. And also, the information I got from this person, I don't know if it's accurate. Okay, and also Snowden, I don't know if Snowden, the number is accurate.
Okay.
But a huge number, money here, that is correct. That involves several 100,000 officials. We can say almost every single Chinese official is involved. If that's going to happen, the Chinese people, they say, we are so poor, we cannot even have a free education, we don't have free medication, some family don't even have food to eat. And you guys have so much money overseas, it's going to be in trouble. And there's no need for trade war. China will collapse. Okay, so
that's if the information can be disseminated to the Chinese people, to the public. But that's a trick in and of itself, don't you think?
Look, if Trump can release 1.8 million accounts with the names, the faces, the pictures to Chinese people, every single one who know, for example, this official of this province, he has that much amount of money in the US account on his wife's name. What do you think Chinese people think?
No, but I'm saying how is he going to get that information to the Chinese people, because the Chinese government locks down any kind of outside.
If Trump wants to do it, of course he can.
He can drop flyers from planes.
Many ways. As far as this information released in a USA, the anti-revolutionaries, the bad guys, they will do the job for the US government.
Wow.
Okay, so there's no war. As these two old revolutionaries told me, if US and China is going to start a war, US can simply have all these family members be protected, nicely protected, and their money be protected.
But that was before.
Even today, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. So if China and US want to start a war, before the war, Trump says, okay, we need to protect all these family members of the Chinese high officials, to have them protected in a certain area, and have their money also be protected, put in a very safe place. Oh, how can you start a war? Every single Chinese, they have their family and their money here in the US, and they are all protected away from their father.
But so they did that, and they have that, but now it's frozen.
Now US start to do one by one now. Not a big scale.
They didn't do a blanket.
No, but the Chinese, the anti-revolutionary people here, they urge Bush to do. Sorry, not Bush. Urge Trump to do that. Please, Trump, do that. If you do that, you will be our great savior. What's that? Savior, and you will our live Buddha. You are our, like Mao Zedong, liberate our China.
Oh please, couldn't they pick some? Oh man.
Okay, President Trump, you said you are the president of USA. You're not the president of the globe, but you might be president of China someday.
Wow.
Actually, the president of China, you're going to liberate China by release 1.8 million accounts and the names and the pictures to China to bring the whole region down. Okay.
Wow.
That's it. This is our video today, and relax. There will be no war between US and China.
Yeah.
Just before they really start war, something is going to happen inside USA, and that will stop the war.
That's what I don't understand. And what I've heard so many times from Chinese people from other people is that the officials are so short-sighted in China. They're not looking at the future of the country. They're looking at themselves and what they can gain right now at this moment. Not even, it seems, 6 months or a year down the line. They just look at immediate gratification or immediate safety, or what they perceive as safety, which is really crazy because they didn't do enough research. I mean, they put their money here. They put their family members here, thinking that that they could just keep the money here and then tap into it any time. Or did they know that there was a risk? I really wonder.
Mm-hmm. Now I quote, the quote is not word by word. Someone said, Trump said this, okay? Trump said, those guys are the biggest cancer cell of China.
Who, and the officials?
Yes, this account holders,
yeah.
the money holders.
Yeah.
They are the biggest cancer cell of China.
Okay.
And I help you to fight with corruption. So Trump is help China fight with the corruption.
Yeah. So he's taking the higher ground, and he's doing it as he's acting, or, I mean, of course, it's in the U.S.'s best interest. But at the same time, he's also trying. He is playing himself up as, hey, I'm trying to help you too.
Yes.
Because your officials are keeping money from you, money that they've taken out of your economy.
Then he said, I deserve a like. Please give me a like. Someone said, Trump said this. I don't know if you said this or not. Anyway.
I'll tell you, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump fan. Actually, I'm not a fan of anyone. I don't like doing that. I don't like giving my allegiance to any kind of politician because they're only human. And he's a pretty disgusting, dirty old man. That's how I look at him. Personally, I would hate to be his wife. Oh my God. Anyway,